Hey, how you doing, Michael?
What's up, dude?
Oh, same old thing. Just getting off work, and that's about it.
How's work?
Oh, it's work. 2 more days. Can't complain. It's an easy job though. But yep.
Easy or you like it?
Oh, I,
You
I
love it,
like
so
it.
it makes
It's
it
easy
easy?
too. Oh, it's a good job all the way around, but I'm just ready for a change.
I hear
But it is what it is.
you. I hear
What's new with you? You make it back to California?
you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Back in Cali.
Yep.
Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Amber.
Hello.
Hi. What's happening, buddy?
Same old thing.
Same old, same old. Well,
Yep.
tonight's gonna be a good night. You're always adventuring. You're living the high life over there.
I try and have fun.
I love it.
Yeah. Try to.
Take the word try out. I have fun. Oh, different sentence. One word.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You always liven it up.
Mm. Yeah, I was born this way. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. All righty.
Hi guys, long
Oh,
time.
Hi, Carrie.
What's up?
Carrie,
What's going on
what's
with
up? I
you?
love that voice.
Oh, my love, how are you?
Oh.
Yes. Miss you so much.
What's up, buddy?
Just chilling.
Tonight's the night. I'm so glad you're here. We needed some fired up Leo ladies.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Where you at, Carrie?
My house, Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah. You're in Cali now?
I am.
Where?
I live in Marina Del Rey outside LA County.
Nice. How
Yeah.
long have you been there?
Since August, first week in August.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm still at the same house that I was at a million years ago. And
Really?
yeah, I've been
Nice.
here for 12 years now.
Nice.
So yeah, it's going. It's always a work in progress.
They growing over there?
Hmm.
They growing around that area quite a bit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like
Crazy, right?
the housing market is just crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Carrie, what do you love your job right now or?
Hold on, let me try to turn my little video on. I hope my phone doesn't die. It's okay. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I work from home. I work for my friend's shipping and logistics company. And it's going okay. It's just so much work. Like I just finished for the day. Now it's really flexible, right? Because, when I have my kids, I'm like, working half a day. But so when I don't have my kids, I definitely make up for it, like
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
So, but my eyes started to hurt. I was like getting a migraine, so I had to walk away from the computer.
Yeah.
Well, feel the need to have your computer on, but I'm glad to see your face. I just like to hear that voice.
Hi, I'm here. I need to come visit you, Amber. I'm ready. I'm overdue.
Yes.
Are you loving your place?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, I've been busy loving my guy, so I'm mostly at his house. So it's bittersweet. But
Yeah.
summers we try to connect, and it's nice to have it and stuff. This is our friend Jason up in the top corner here. Oh shit, who's this? Marianne Davis?
Marianne Davis.
Hi, Marianne. Aloha.
So awesome.
Look at our old friend Carrie's here too. What's up?
Hey. Hawakalani represent.
She's still connecting.
She's still connecting to the voice.
I can't hear you, Marianne. Hello?
There she is.
She's still
She's
connected.
connected.
Oh, shit. Hello? Marianne, can you hear us? Can you
No.
hear us?
You probably can't hear us. Said it did not connect, so.
All right. Reconnect. She's been sober for like a year.
Let's go.
Nice.
Oh.
Amber,
Yeah.
just text her and tell her to reconnect.
Okay.
So, I know Carrie, you haven't been here before, but
I know. I've always been wanting to join.
we do every other. Sometimes I do like the one for the church I do, but this is our personal one, our Real.Raw.Flawed one we do every other week. So we really just talk about topics that are like either on my mind or conversations I've been having with myself during the week, or nothing scripted. I've never written anything down. It's just what's on my mind and heart, and then I kind of open it up, and then we
Yes.
we
Hi,
discuss
Marianne.
it. You there?
Hey.
Hi, can you hear me?
Now we can hear
Yes.
you now.
I
Yes.
can barely hear you guys. Though.
Yay.
Hi. I can't hear you though, really.
You can't hear us? Do you have earpods in?
No, I'm on my phone.
Turn it
I
up.
really don't have any earbuds.
All right, we'll try to turn it up. Michael's just explaining what this is tonight, and then we're going to get into it, kids.
Okay. Well, you'll probably have to. I wonder if I should just mute my face so I can just listen and talk. I don't know.
Whatever
Look
you'd
at
like
my
to do.
Okay. What
I
are we
love that
talking
you just said
about?
mute your face. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, he's gonna put us all on mute, and we have to raise our little yellow hand.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. I forgot about how to do
Zoom.
this.
No, I've never done a Zoom meeting. Sorry.
No.
Welcome to the Zoom.
swear.
Lucky
If I
you.
can- You guys can do it.
Yeah,
I
Jason.
tried to do a Zoom interview once, and I was like,
I'm a computer
"What?
idiot
This
guy.
is stupid.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
everybody,
want the job."
so in the Brady circle, if you look up, that's our friend Jason. He's in Oregon. We met him randomly in Binghamton with his father on an RV trip. He just turned around in the parking lot. Me and my brother were in,
What,
and this
3
weird
years
kid
ago?
moment.
2 years
Yeah. So you're gonna meet
Yeah,
us.
that definitely sounds like an Amber meeting.
I mean, that's how we met, Gary, right?
yes. And then Michael too, at my brother's wedding.
That's right.
Okay, I see all y'all.
He was the entertainment at the wedding. What?
Yes. So fun.
Bomb the wedding. There's some more people probably jumping in here in a minute, but we'll get started anyway. We re-record these things anyway, but I don't know if anybody saw the graphic. It's actually something Amber had sent me, kind of on a discussion we've been kind of talking about and on my mind, but Amber sent a graphic. That's what I posted online. And it was just like two characters sitting at a table. I don't know if you can see this here. So that's what it was. Two characters kind of sitting at the table, growth and comfort. And the one just growth saying this is just not going to work out. And if you look at it, you can each one of us can look at that thing and take our own interpretation. That's why I like that imagery, because it can mean a bunch of different things to whoever's looking at it. And I think for me posting it was more about the situation I constantly talk about in a relationship or friendship or romantic, that this constant thing is going on always of what we expect and assume some other people are thinking of us, for us, what we want back from a conversation when we start it. Our growth we're going through, and then we're like, well, they should receive it this way. We're always having this set expectation ahead of maybe possibly understanding what the other person on the other side of the table, where they're at in their journey, how they listen to things, how they relate things, how they may react. But even one step further is that it's okay that they don't react the way you want them. It's okay if they don't love the same things you love. It's okay that if you guys don't see eye to eye and everything, even if this person lives with you, or a romantic partner, or your spouse, or your children.
How about your sister or brother, your mom, any relationship you have, really?
To have
in general.
Yeah, to have a great relationship, I just don't believe that you have to be in line with everything all the time. And I think sometimes we want that. We want the person that's right next to us to understand everything we understand, or care about the things we care about, or want to do the things we want to do. But if we remember that two people are in that relationship, that's impossible to happen. Somebody's going to have to give up a lot more than the other person if we're going to do that game. So this imagery, this illustration to me is so much more about how do we address the things we always want to share, our personal growth, where we are in our journey with somebody across from us, without putting them outside of their comfort zone, without forcing our views, ideas, loves, things on them at a time that maybe they don't need it, want it, or care. So I'll give you an example. Amber and I have been doing this our whole lives. And it just happened when I left. I was just in New York and I was leaving, and she goes, "Hey, you want to take these pictures with you?" And I said, "No, thank you." And she goes, "Come on, you don't want these on your fridge at your new place?" I go, "No." She goes, "Why not? You don't want to see them every time you walk by all the people you love?" I go, "No." And she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because I'm not you. I just don't want them. That's not how I look at memories. We're different in that way." And we've been doing that our whole lives, not really knowing. But in that moment, she's like getting kind of frustrated. "Why don't you just love what I love? I love it. I love it on my refrigerator. You should love it." We kind of giggled in the moment too, because it's like, that's how we've interacted. And I think we've been doing it for a long time. We just recognize it now as, for Amber and I to love each other as much as we do today, it has nothing to do with us being the same, similar, sitting down and watching the same things, her caring about golf or not, me caring about a band she goes to, or the job she has in a way that she does. It's not my responsibility to care about, oh, you know what, I will take those, do something different, take them with me, not hang them on my refrigerator, but just make her feel good in the moment and not do the thing. Because then I'm just really relying on a relationship and we're not really having any connection. Whereas it's okay for me to just be like, "I don't like what you like. Stop giving me those. You hold on to them. They're going to go in the garbage. I'm not going to," she's like, "Well, I'll just send them in the mail." I'm like, "Well, I won't open them." So it's like, we just got to be
Typical
okay with
sister-brother
being okay with one
relationship.
another. It's like,
And so let's talk about like why we even were talking about like this particular subject today of all days too, is because like you said, like the pictures was like a small example. A large example, it came up last week and it's come up several times. Like when we lost our father, like we dealt with it completely different. And neither one of us could understand what the fuck the other person was doing. Like he was like doing some stuff that he promised he would do with my dad or whatever. So he was like, "We're going to rip the roof off and put it on." Like my dad just said, I'm like, trying to hoard like everything my dad ever had. Like we were dealing with it totally emotionally, like differently and looking at it different ways. And then we started talking about like all the different relationships we have, and like why don't some of the most loving relationships, whether it's family, you know, personal or otherwise, not work when there's so much love involved. And sometimes it's just we're on different like growth patterns. And I said to him earlier, what got us talking about this was there was a comedian on, and he was like, remember when you first fell in love and like you just wanted that person to love you so much, so like they'd be like, man, the weed whacker engine broke. You'd be like, I love weed whacker engines. Like you just say the things and pretend like to like all these things or be like love bomb somebody, and then it's not sustainable if you really don't, you know, like football or like weed whackers or like whatever it is. And why do we set ourselves up for that for like years to come? And so how do we interact and still love people, also know where they go in our life, and realize that we're not in the same place, and that's okay too. It doesn't mean that there's nothing to learn or you know, gain.
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, in that illustration too, there's comfort in that picture. Another way I've always looked at it is like comfort and convenience can be a killer of our dreams. So sometimes we get in a situation where we're in a relationship that we are making it convenient. It's like, well, this is pretty good. Or, you know, I have it pretty good. We start to make a little bit of excuse. We get comfortable. It's convenient to be this person. And you look up and you've given up a lot of yourself sometimes. And convenience and comfort, even sounding good words, can be a killer of our own dreams and our own thoughts and our ideas and what we want to do. So we gotta be careful between growth and comfort. Like, I think this illustration means so many things to so many people. Somebody today messaged me earlier about that picture that's not with us here, but was like, oh, I took it as it's two people, but you having a conversation with yourself. I was like, I like that too, right? Like there's two people at the table, but you know, I took it right away as having a conversation with yourself. And
That's how I
going
took
on
it.
between, huh? You took it that way?
That's how I took it. Yeah, for sure.
Which is powerful because I didn't even think of that when I posted it. Definitely not when Amber and I were talking about it. So
Yeah, because it's growing and changing. It's not comfortable.
yeah, see, exactly, which is huge.
Yeah.
It's quite hard sometimes to be in the growth stage of your life, especially if you don't have anybody to relate to on your same path, which is rare. To be going at the same speed as you, that's super rare. Even if somebody's growing, but to be at the same speed as you, I think is a really rare thing. To find somebody that's right on your complete level to have confidence in, and I think it's super rare. So sometimes it's isolating and hard to be in that growth path, and it gets uncomfortable.
Well,
So you just want what we want as humans is we want to go back to comfortable. It's easy. We want to go back
yeah.
to what felt comfortable or what is comfortable, and sometimes that can be a trap for us or a trigger or a step back. But Amber made some great points on that, like you know, for this relationship thing we were talking about earlier, we got into was like how many times we found ourselves in that fight at that table of uncomfortability, just simply because I wasn't looking at the other side, wondering how they might take the information or see me how I was presenting it or any of that. Like so many layers to what that could be. Oh, we got a newbie too coming in. All right, Tyler. Yeah, everybody's cruising in.
Hello?
We were talking too about the fine line between like where we
Hey,
fight. Hey, hold on. Just listen. Put on for 1 second.
Gotcha.
We were talking about on that exact thing is like, okay, so you find yourself in any situation, whether you're evolving with your family, with your personal relationships, whatever it is, and you wonder to yourself, like, well, how many times have you given away so much of who you are to give? Nobody even asks you to. You just give to everybody and everything and the whole situation. Then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, like, where did I go? I need to color my hair or something here. Like, what the heck's going on with me? And what's the fine line between like, and this is what we really got deep on, and this is where I hope this conversation goes, is between like codependence, the toxic part of the unworthiness in us that shows up to be a people pleaser to the point of losing ourselves, and then the independent soul that can be inside of a relationship and still thrive as you. Because it's like, what if I fall in love with a major league baseball player, but I hate baseball, but I love, he plays baseball, he lights up, and that's what I love about him. You know, like, do I have to love baseball? Not necessarily. Do I have to pretend to? No. Maybe that's the day I go and hang out with my girls or whatever. So there's so many layers to like our own personal health within the relationships.
Yeah, that's a good point. We did go down a little bit the rabbit hole with that. And that is really the purpose of this conversation, is like, is it okay? And I believe it is like okay to, if you're in a relationship with somebody, and let's use football for example, your husband wants to watch football because he loves to do it, but you don't really into it, but you want to be supportive. On Sundays you watch football. Do you have to watch 9 games in a row with them to be a supportive wife? Do you have to watch any games with them to be a supportive wife? If you're not into it truly, maybe you watch one that he likes, but what'd you do on Sundays before you met him? Why are we making different decisions based off our personal time? And I feel like we need to be in service like that for anybody, and vice versa. And I guess what I'm getting at is like, I think too often we try to placate towards the acceptance from another person, and sometimes we just get into a place where we're starting to give up a lot of our own stuff. And that's why I said if we're both doing it, somebody's really giving up more in a situation. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, we're on different growth patterns. You look at every 5 years of your life, how different were you? How different are you?
Well, and ultimately, like we came from many generations of blame. Like, if I'm not happy, it's because you're not making me happy. And that's why, at least at my own personal life right now, I try very, very hard to speak in I statements, even though people still can't hear you. When you're upset, they feel like they've done something, so people get defensive. But I try to always say, like, I'm feeling away. It's nothing you're doing. I put myself in this situation. I'm the one. But so on the flip side of that coin, who's responsible for our growth? If I'm growth over here on the table, or I'm the part of me that's growth or whatnot, having a conversation with comfort, like for me personally, I also want to live somewhere in the midst of that pendulum swing. I want to live right there in the middle of that pendulum swing, where I'm not totally comfortable to the point where I'm not doing anything, but I'm also not constantly growing so much that I can't ever be comfortable. Right. So I always kind of want to be like somewhere there, but ultimately, like, who's responsible for that? When I first see that picture, my old imprinting comes up, and I think, ugh, the comfort one is the lazy. I started to judge one of the others as one is doing better than the other in my mind or something. But really, when I think about it and how I would really like it to be in life, is like somewhere right there in the middle. And ultimately, who's responsible for my comfort or my growth? Not another person, me. I wake up alone in my head and go to bed in my head. Like, doesn't matter who's in the room.
It's funny that you said you judged comfort in that.
Isn't that weird?
Yes, it's now again, this is how we all see things, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. I would have thought opposite. I mean, for everything we do in life, especially you and I thought you'd lean towards growth as being it's funny that you judged comfort, like, that seems.
No, because I don't want to be.
Which is funny.
Like, I wish I was a runner. I would rather fight a lion. But I'm not growth. So I want to be more like growth. Whereas comfort's like kind of like too much ice cream. Like, I don't want to look at comfort too fondly.
Interesting. Anybody else have a take on that that you want to kind of expand on?
I would love to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, it's Marianne
Hi,
from
Marianne.
the 808. I can't really hear you guys. That's why you can't really see my face when you're talking.
We can hear you well.
Face is up to the phone. Can you hear me?
You well.
Okay, good. So my take on growth, coming from a personal perspective, I've gone through a lot of growth in a short amount of time. And it's kind of hard, like you said, to be comfortable in the growth when it's consistently changing. and it's like your mind's like, wait, this isn't normal, but now it's the new normal, and you just have to get accustomed to it, but it takes time. As far as the accountability, I think you, me, myself, and I'm accountable for everything that comes in my path. Even if I'm an innocent bystander in a situation, I have to find accountability. Maybe it's like the lesson I'm supposed to be learning in that experience. But we're talking about the relationship and the accountability. For me, it's like, I would assume in the beginning, you're looking for someone that's compatible, that has similar interests. Why would you want to date someone that automatically doesn't have interest in yours? Then they just become like a friend. They'll be a friend, but I don't see where it could become a romantic interest if you're trying to look for a long-term romantic life partner per se.
It
I think
depends.
there would have to be a lot more. But then I do have to say, from personal experience, sometimes you fucking don't get to choose who you fall in love with, and that shit sucks. That shit sucks. And you're constantly fucking battling your heart and your intuition. Your intuition saying this is not right, and then compassion and tolerance and understanding that they're not you, they don't think like you. Maybe see where they're coming from all the time instead of me, my intuition, just kind of trying to do the tug of war with the intuition and the heart. And the heart kills me because and it's not like I guess I do sometimes allow myself to be overly accessible.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to use the words like abused or use. I am being that's accountable. I am overly accessible.
Yes.
And
That's a great point we talked about, being
Love that.
available too much, being accessible too much to people.
yeah, just being like over accessible. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, I'll give you a freaking example. This long-term poop that I have allowed myself to go through, I'm owning it.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, my intuition, my gut is like, you need to stay as far away from this person as possible, because they pull out every single solitary character defect that you're trying to well, not so much kill, but fine tune.
Heal.
I'm always gonna, yeah. Okay, I thought you said kill. Anyway, like I said,
You can't hear Amber. You can't just chime in.
And then they like, no matter what they do, they're not trying to do it on purpose, but they do it. They pull out every little thing, and you're just like, I gotta stay away from you. But then they need a ride to the airport. And you're like, well, I can't be a dick. They would come and pick me up from the airport. So
Well,
then
let's talk about that.
It turns into the relationship, and that person is a friend of essentials.
Well, there you
He
go.
is my friend of essentials.
But let's
Pick me up from the airport.
Let's expand on that, because I like what you said there is very important. Well, then they need to ride to the airport. I'm not a dick of a person, but this is where we draw the line between growth and comfort. This is where we draw the line between understanding what it is. Are we being over available? We're accessible too much? Or is this person penetrating my space in an unhealthy way? Is their comfort overriding my growth? Vice versa. So that to me is a pretty big deal.
True.
Say things like that. It's a big deal to understand where that lies. Is that us?
Sure, but also get this, something I discovered about myself recently because of my grandiose life. I assign responsibility to people. You are responsible for my happiness. You are responsible to make sure that I am okay. I do that. I
Yeah.
do that to people. So then when they don't meet my lame ass expectation, then I have a resentment.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
I don't have that, if I don't have that expectation, and I can try to like limit that, because I crave love so much and acceptance and connection, that I will assign you that responsibility and then blow up the whole relationship because you're not doing exactly the relationship I
Bingo.
assigned you to.
Bingo. First prize goes to Marianne
Yes.
for figuring out the puzzle of the picture.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about, people. This is exactly the things we're talking about. It's what is our responsibility in the part of the relationship we're in? And it can be, as Marianne just spoke about, which is head on. It can
Brilliant.
be as simple as just taking a little bit of part ownership in your own life as far as what she said, but also just simply, hey, during this time, I'm going to do some stuff for myself. Because you don't need to be showing up in every way for me, because it's not your responsibility. I have responsibility for myself, some of my happiness too. It's not all reliant on another human being.
Yep.
But if we get that dependency going hard, it's really hard for us to look at ourselves and go, where's my fault in it? And we can go in this like whirlwind of, well, why aren't you showing up? Why aren't you doing those things? You're my partner. You're the one. You're supposed to be. Without really ever having a conversation at high level of that, right? It's just an expectation.
Yeah.
So it's a big fucking deal to be able to openly, we always talk about this, openly have dialogue with somebody, even if it hurts a little bit, to get past that, to get to the solution. Meaning a little bit of sting for amazing outcome, great. Much better than a held in hurt for long years, wondering, hoping, and thinking that somebody else is going to show up to do that thing for you. That's a sure way to
Sure.
And if they
Well, it's called hard truths. You have to be able to accept hard truths. I would rather accept a hard truth in my face. This ain't gonna work. I'm not into you. There's one ingredient missing. Fine. Thank you for telling me so I can move the fuck on. Don't string me along like maybe, kinda, you're special to me. There's a connection, but I just don't want to be with you. Where the fuck like, how about that twist of turns?
Yeah.
So me, it's more like, you know what? I allowed it to go on too long to where I finally acknowledged that I was abusing myself now. Now I'm abusing myself because I'm allowing it to continue, but I didn't. I stopped it. Once I realized that I'm
That's what
fucking
we're proud
abusing
of.
myself now, I'm like, fuck this shit.
Proud of that.
Yeah,
Amber, what do
100.
you say?
I was just agreeing with everything she said, and I love people that are like immersed in like their healing, like, and really looking at everything right now, because that was brilliant. I am responsible for it. Like, and anything I tolerate longer than I'm comfortable or want to tolerate it, I'm also I am choosing to torture myself or be uncomfortable or not move on my own things or distract myself from me or whatever I'm trying to do to prove something to the world or myself or whoever that I'm good enough, when it's all really just wasted time. It would be better off, in a painting or, anything really. So yeah, we can't even blame those people. And guess what? The people who continue to take advantage of that, they're addicts and different kinds of their own, they're in a different stage of their own healing that they can't even see it. So again, it's not about them. We're the one tolerating it, because for us, that's our drinking or our drug or our thing in the moment that we're focused on.
Yeah. I've said this a million times in this podcast, or this thing. It's like everything comes down to us. I can turn on my whole entire life upside down and look at every moment that I blamed on somebody else, or I lost a relationship, or I fought with a business partner, or I lost an opportunity job. I can go back and think on every single one, and not one of them was anybody's fault but mine. I can track it back to the decision I made to put myself there. So to be tolerant of something for so long, to have to say, hey, look, you're not doing it for me. We have to be able to stand up, like Marianne said, Amber said, a little bit and just like a little accountability on our side and say, what's my role in this situation? What is my role as well? Just as important. You're muted, Marianne.
Sorry.
There you
Are
go.
you there now? Okay.
Yep.
Is the love trumping the intuition is because we want to have benefit of the doubt, you know?
Of course.
We want to have benefit of the doubt, but also I don't know, it's such
Yeah,
a
but
tricky.
but we also don't think that we are worthy of the love that we actually want and deserve. That's really what it comes down to.
Nuh-uh, girl. I know for a fact I'm well worthy. I'm well worthy. I know for a fact I'm well worthy to be nurtured and hugged and loved and affected on. And just, I know that. I know that.
Can I
What I'm
add
saying
one
is-
thing?
Yeah.
Gary,
Yeah.
add it.
Hey, one thing, Marianne, amen, sister. Girl, I am right there with you. Just one thing I wanted to add was it really depends, or there's an element of how much you've invested, how much you've already put forth that you don't want to walk away. You've done so much work. You want to have the fruits of your labor. You want to see it come to this beautiful place that you envisioned in your mind. And then sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to come to grips with the fact that it's not supposed to ever get there. And then you move on.
But that's
Yeah,
the grand
I mean-
illusion. Like I held on to an abusive relationship for the dream of what it could represent for my family for like 7 years, like killing myself, like every year making excuses like, well, one more vacation, one more Mother's Day, one more this, one more that, like
Yeah.
for no reason at all. So no matter what we build around the shit house or the shit hole, it's still a shithole. Like it doesn't matter how grandiose the castle around it is or what we attach to it. That just makes it, that's us knowing ourselves so well that the more we attach to it, we will make it harder for ourselves to leave, so we don't have to, because ultimately we don't want to.
Exactly.
But it's
Yeah,
like
let me ask you both one question attached to what Carrie just brought up. Because Carrie said, I think it depends on the length of the time, how much time you invested, what you have into it. Sometimes you've put so much work in. I guess my question to both of you, because you both brought up long term, is so much was put in it by you or both of you?
right.
Great question. For me, it was by me, but he was giving just enough
Right.
effort to show that he is making an effort. And I'm like, okay, that's good. He is making an effort. That's his level that he's able to bring at this moment. Because
Yeah.
one other thing that I will add is that in any healthy relationship, I really don't think it's 50-50. I think it's 100% and 100%.
I love that.
If each partner is giving 100% of themselves, now your 100% might not be my 100% right at that moment, but you'll get there. And then when you're there, mine's not going to be as much as yours. But if we're both giving as much as we can in a healthy way, then we should both be getting the same out of it.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, that just doesn't happen.
that. I love that idea. Somebody great once told me to look at it like the idea of a relationship, anyone physical, romantic, or just friendship, is to be when one is down, the other one's supposed to lift. When the other one's down, the other one's supposed to lift. When both of you are down, you're supposed to lift together, so it's lighter. When both of you are up, you're supposed to celebrate together. So he looked at it in the way of comments like what you said. It's like 100 all the time, but somebody might not have that, and you might have to step up. That's why you have to be 100. You can't be 50. 'Cause if somebody's down to 0 and you're only 50, you can't help them.
Exactly.
So I agree with that kind of look at it. I think we have to look at it as like being our best selves. While we started the conversation today with Amber, is like, oh, well, what do I sit around and just do I sit on football Sunday and just be there all day with him because I'm that person's person and that's our day? Or do I go and make myself 100? And do the things I need to do to be 100%. Maybe that's what they need to do to be 100, so that we can continue this life thing. You know, we're talking about life here. When people say "till death do us part," we want to be together forever. I don't think they actually know what the fuck they're saying. I don't think they have any idea what fucking life means with one human being, because it's just a natural thing we say in vows, or we say. But like, really think about that. If I haven't had a partnership that lasted the past 5-6 years in business, and a good business, and do business doing well. How am I going to ever say this is forever? And by the way, we got to the marriage part. We're good. We're moved in. We got the kids. We don't need to work on anything. It's good. We said forever, right? It's all good. So that's why I asked the question, like, who's putting in the investment? Is it both? One? None? Because most of the time when I see, it's usually one person putting in hard and the other person putting in just enough to not be left. To make sure you keep putting in hard. So I still think it always depends on the two people you're discussing in the situation. What is happening? What's the dynamic? What's your role in it? You know,
what really helps too is opening up to somebody in the group that can kind of check up on you, like Amber checks up on me, Portia checks up on me and stuff, and just it kind of sends encouraging stuff, and that's what I've found out. It helps.
I love that. Keep you accountable.
Yep.
Love that. Love that.
And so how do we now go forward with, like, first, can I just see a raise of fingers? How many people, when they did look at it, if you were one or the other in there, which one were you? Were you growth or were you comfort? Were you looking at like, oh, that douchebag? Was your first thought like the other person who's the jerk in your whatever relationship? Or so how many people thought they were growth if you look at that picture that Mike sent out?
Definitely not me.
Who said definitely not me, Jamie?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3 growths, and then so 1, 2, 3, 4 comforts.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would have thought everybody in this group was growth. I don't know why, because I think we're
Because we're here showing up.
Well, and we're elitists. Yeah. But I thought, like, oh, if we're all the ones that are, doing the growth, and the other person is the one that's like stagnant or whatnot, how do we accept people in their life without judgment that we love and want to spend time with, that there is nothing wrong, but we look for the things that are wrong because we don't maybe have similar interests, or because work is overloaded, or because whatever the million reasons. Your sister has 9 kids, you have none, whatever it is that keeps space between people. And how do we meet them where we can still preserve that relationship? I think Michael and I are a super good example of it, because we fail at it every single time we get together for at least 5 minutes, like every time still. And we talk like this, like we're the most bestest friends in the whole world, but sometimes still when we interface in the normal family way, it's still that same little bit of gritty, just not really sure, like, what do you mean? And we don't even mean it. It's just what is left over. So for us, we are kind of a living example without any ego at all, because we're failing at it all the time while we grow continually. And more than anything, we're committed to it. So like, we love each other. We've decided, and we've talked about this 1,000 times on this too, we love each other. We are very, very different. We have very different lives, all kinds of things different about us. But the thing that is not different is that we love each other and back each other no matter what. And we have found a way to do it without judgment, where before everything seemed suspect for many years, only because of where we were from, not even because of anything the other one was doing. So how do we do that in the rest of our relationships? How can I love the people around me that aren't necessarily like me? We talk about all the time how we can attract, like, the law of attraction, people like us in, but how do we love the people that aren't necessarily like us? Maybe their core characteristics are integrity, kindness, loyalty, like the things that matter, but they're completely different person. They love winter and I love summer, or whatever.
What if we were, and these are just all ideas always, right? What if we were like anything else we wanted to learn or go to school for, to be a nurse or be a practitioner or massage therapy or this new job I have? we have to learn shit, right? We don't get away with just showing up and performing our expertise on somebody because we never taught ourselves anything or went certified or never learned. Why aren't we doing that with a relationship that matter? If that's the forever one, more than any other job you're ever gonna have, any other thing you're ever gonna do in your life, it's forever, remember? None of us are getting that extra education on it. No, nobody's getting cert. Now I know there's not just a school you'll get certified to be in a relationship. But my point is there are things to do, but we're not doing those. You know, I joked to somebody today. Amber knows this. I've always wanted to have a chef at some point in my life. Not live in or anything, but like somebody to cook my food. I'm always busy, but I want to eat better at all times. I don't put time in for me. And I was joking with somebody earlier, like, why are we like that? Like, I want to get a personal chef. Oh, I can't afford that. Oh, that's funny. How much did you spend at the bar this weekend on booze? Something that's literally killing us, proven killing us. I'm going out drinking. I can write down a tab of the amount of money I spent. It's a joke to watch especially the job I have today. It is a joke how much money I spend. I can't afford to have the thing that's going to actually help me, or a therapist, or a marriage counselor, or a mindset coach, or anything over here. But easily, I'm going to rock out my friends and drop $300 on some fucking booze. Wake up tomorrow feeling like real shit, not a real good day the next day, have a cloudy day, make bad decisions, all the things that come with it, and my liver is worse off for it. It's like, but hey, I can't afford a chef right now. Marianne, unmute yourself.
Do we jump topic?
Huh?
Do we jump topic now? We're talking about
A little bit.
living a sober life.
No, but you can speak on it.
Yeah, speak on it.
Oh, I was just curious. Well,
we were just talking about the compromises that we make in our life. Instead of having a personal chef or a massage once a month, or like acupuncture instead of healthcare, but we'll spend all this money on going out to eat, or booze, or cigarettes,
smoking, or drinking, or yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of like it's a coping mechanism.
Totally.
It's a coping.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's like even like retail therapy. You know what I mean? I don't drink anymore. What kind of eases my mind sometimes? Well, I bust my ass and I made I worked 12, 15, 16, 24 hours in the last 3 days. Well, I'm going to go buy myself something pretty, because I've earned that money. I'm not going to go out and drink it anymore because I removed that from my diet per se.
I like that.
Removed it. It's not an ingredient in my system any longer.
I like that.
But when I think about certain things sometimes, it's a way to cope, and I guess it's like, if you have to have a drink to cope with something that's so overwhelming, fucking so be it. So you don't put one in the head, so be it. If you need to cope in any sort of way just to ease your mind and to not do something traumatic to yourself or traumatic to someone else.
Let me ask you a question, Marianne.
Sure.
So when you say, because I agree with you, it's a coping. We do pick something. So I guess the question on the table is, how do we start to turn those things into the things that matter? So like, how do I turn into saying, you know what, I'm going to cope with today by investing in a therapy 2 days a week, or I'm going to invest in a personal cook, instead of taking that same coping mechanism where we have a drink and it makes us feel better and gets us out of our space, but turn it towards something much healthier for us. How do we translate that?
First, you would have to choose to do it. You'd have to choose what you wanted to do, and then you'd have to kind of commit to it, and then you'd have to exercise. You'd have to learn and exercise to where you're doing it repetitively, to where that becomes first nature, not even second nature, becomes first nature.
Love that. That's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for, because that's I think what we're always trying to get at. How do we
commit to it,
easier make the choice
and fucking do it?
Right.
Else, I mean, and also you don't have to overwhelm yourself by doing it all at once. You could take little bites, as long as you're trying to exercise it every day.
And we've committed to
some sort of tool, some sort
Yeah.
of tool to get you through that, whatever.
To me, that comfort doll to me has been what she was kind of saying. I've used it as like, I'm doing good, I'm doing good, I'm doing good, I'm doing good, I'm doing good. And then I feel like I'm kind of like maxing out the ceiling. I have no breath. And then I go to the comfort. That's why when Amber said, which one are you? I resent the comfort character. Because comfort to me is going backwards towards something I don't want to be at, which is drinking or getting away or escapism or shutting down and not talking to people. I use those as my comfort. And to me, when I look at that picture and I look at comfort, I'm like, I despise that character.
Interesting.
But you're allowed to like comfort. Okay. I'm gonna pause on my thought. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry
don't,
for interrupting.
yeah, no, good. That so to everything to me, and Amber, that's why I was surprised. Amber looked at it, I was like, you know, we look at these things different. And the other thing for me is comfort in my head to other people. When I think what comfort means to other people and not me, I'm thinking they're like, oh, I'm good. My job is financially stable. I'm happy to get a relationship. Like I'm comfortable. Like when people use it in that term. But for me, when I look at it, it makes me cringe. I don't want to be near it because I know what my comforts are and they're not good for me. So I need to start doing what Marianne said. I need to start looking at that and start changing the idea that like, it isn't that. It's not my tool. My comfort can be a success. I need to make the decision, start exercising it differently so that I don't look at comfort, because what I want truly is I want to grow. I want to be in this growth path and I want comforts to follow each growth.
Yes.
So I got to change that mechanism.
And we all do, because like my other friend Alex, who I wish she had come on tonight, but she's also going on like, I think 7 years sober or something, which is amazing because I mean, literally we could not even look each other in the face as much as we loved each other when she was drinking. And it's just been an extraordinary journey, not unlike yours, in that she's really doing the work and it's real. And every year's another, you know, she's smashing it or whatever. But she still struggles and whatnot. And I forgot what I was going to say about her. Shit. I don't know.
Well, that's a lot right there. That's a mouthful right there. That's heavy because it's constant work, right? It's training yourself, exercise.
Oh, I know what it was. It was that. So she quit drinking. That was hard enough. She was in like, she went through all the phases of pink elephant, then fuck this, then total darkness, then detached to nothing, then finally reattaching somehow, then finding the new normal, then practicing the new normal, then calling it all bullshit, then finally living it and not even realizing it until she was there and going, man, I'm actually kind of okay. This is fucking weird, you know? But she went through during that 7 years, 5.5 of them were with this super narcissistic, abusive, horrible person that just sucked her in and spit her out constantly. And it was just like, but that was, she just replaced the drink with the toxic relationship. And then it was the eating. And then she went through all these different things. So we talk way too much in this country and in this world about just alcoholism or drugs or whatever. It's like a million things. Anything that's not feeding you is taking from you. And so when Mike says like getting back to the practice of whatever it is for us, prayer, meditation, yoga, exercise, friendships, like socializing is important. God made us social. We're supposed to connect with people, not be alone. If we don't have witness, we're not in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
You need people to be like, hey dude, you all right? Or your shirt's inside out? Yeah, I made it. I put it
right.
on. But so it could be anything. And it could also like the thing that saves us, where it's like my new coping mechanism is that when I have anxiety at 3 a.m., instead of going out and doing something bad or wrong or drinking or whatever, or smoking pot or something, I go to the gym. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning because it saves.
Does anybody, we're kind of coming towards the end of this, but does anybody want to share on the way out here? Does anybody want to share one or the other? I don't care. It's how you see it. It's not how I've been talking about it, but a growth or a comfort that you want to share with anybody else, or something you're looking forward to that's coming up. Anybody want to voice that? Anybody? No. I have some stuff. One, I just told you, the comfort I'm going to try to replace because it's a negative connotation for me. So I want you to get rid of that. So I'm gonna be taking some baby steps in my growth pattern to lean into a little bit more responsibility, if you will, besides what I do here. This is part of it, as you all know, is part of a therapeutic thing for me. But if I'm being completely honest with you, as I've transitioned from Arizona to New York to here, I've kind of put a lot of things on the side as far as this platform went. And forget this as a thing. I mean, like me implementing and applying the things on myself that I talk about has taken a back seat. So as far as growth goes, I'm going to lean into a little more of that and start to replace some of my negative comforts as positive things, because I can't be a good person of service to anybody if I'm not fully on top of my game and literally practicing, as Marianne said, training myself to exactly what I say every week, what I'm always talking about, and what I believe in. So otherwise I'm just a hypocrite. So that's my growth plan on top of this for
Well, Michael, I'm gonna tell you, I look forward to listening to you every week, because I've never been in a group this long in my life. Usually it's been about 3 months, 6 months. What's it been, 2 years now? I really enjoy it.
I appreciate you saying that, dude.
Or
I
whatever.
appreciate you showing up every week and even struggling through the whole computer thing, man. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
No
I've
matter
learned a
what,
lot on this
you've done
computer
it.
from you. And Ambers and Portia's sitting here going, do this, do that. Forever, whoever don't know computer stuff on here, I had a black screen a lot on here.
Yeah,
I know
and you
it's been a long time. You know why I know it's been a long time? Because when I met you, you look like a 20-year-old, clean shaven face, like a baby.
Wait till next year. It'll be down here.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say anything?
I appreciate you.
Wrap it up?
I am so grateful for our other Ohana and family here that came on. We've got a few different states represented tonight. We got Kelly, Oregon, New York, Oahu, Hawaii. We've got Florida and Binghamton, New York. So
All over. Energy
Yeah,
flows
the
everywhere.
Scooter Gang live. Woo!
I love all you guys. I love you guys putting in the time and effort, not only on this, but just in life in general, and stepping up, speaking out, saying your truths. It helps one person, it helps a million people. So like, dude, I love everybody so much. I appreciate it.
We're here every Monday night, folks. Tell a friend, get on here. If you're feeling fucking lonely, you want to connect, you want to talk. We're
Monday
always here.
nights.
Hey, Amber, send it to, or Michael, send it to Lori too. She's in Arizona right now for the week working. So send it to her.
Oh, nice. Okay, I will.
All
You
right,
guys,
thanks.
this was so nice. Thank you. I needed it.
Love you guys. Great to see you, Carrie, Marianne. Love you, Jamie, Whitney. Thank you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Bye,
I need
Bye,
to
guys.
read
guys.
it.
Good night, everybody.